Thank you so much, Aziz. You completely threw me off. I had a nice quip about the fact that we would have refreshments before our conversation starts. But now to start off uh, anyways. So it's obviously an absolute pleasure and a privilege to be here with Asia Pacific Human Resource Management Congress Awards. And absolutely another pleasure to be discussing about building an inclusive benefit strategy that supports employees, a D&I lens. Before I start off, Philip Kotler had said, culture eats strategy. That's such a done to death uh, quote that you must have all heard. I heard it at least a couple of times today. But I say that benefits reveal the culture even before the strategy kicks in. And I'm going to start off by calling out a couple of statistics, not very flattering, I must say. So to ground this discussion on some realities. India's female population participation is only 30 to 32% amongst the lowest in Asia. And one of the blockers, many of the blockers that we have is barriers include caregiving responsibilities, weak maternity to career return policies, workplace biases. Second, despite the Transgender Persons Act of 2019, most companies still exclude transgender people from health insurance, parental leave, and even safe restrooms. Third, 2023 LinkedIn Workforce Index confirmed that while 71% of the employees say that their organizations promote diversity, only 38% feel included in the policy or career decisions. Fourth, only 19% of Indian firms offer gender-neutral parental leaves, and less than 10% extend benefits to LGBTQI partners. Last but not the least, while 85% of the companies report having DEI policies, only 32% have metrics to measure it. Here's another truth. While a lot of organizations would say that they have D&I policies, most of the times it's something which is confined to gender. There is no conversation about neurodivergence, about LGBTQI, about age, ethnicities. And let me cite some more studies where DEI policies actually have missed the boat when it comes to both the employees as well as the clients. One of the prominent banks in India had launched joint accounts for same-sex partners, and but forgot to train the frontline staff or the employees. So when the same-sex couple walked into the branch, they were surprised that the bank employees were not aware of it at all. Second, Kochi Metro had hired 23 transgender employees with great fanfare in 2019, but most of them quit within a month because of the lack of housing, because of the societal bias. Many organizations today have launched or have tied up with mental health applications, but have forgotten to train the managers on mental health, or the trauma, or the neurodiversity part of it. So that's resulting in access without acceptance. And that is why we are here, to ask if the benefits that we are talking about are really truly inclusive or just inclusive sounding. I'm here joined today by extraordinary group of HR leaders. Let's welcome Harsha Vatani, Director HR LSG Skychef; Suresh Mochipalli, General Manager HR, Bangalore Metro Rail Corporations Limited; Rajesh Pal, Head HR, India and Middle East, American Air Filters, a Daikin Group company; and Kritika Sivanesan, Head HRBP, Total Rewards and Compliance, Gainwell Technologies. And in conversation with them is me, Archana Grover, Executive Executive Director, Global Head for Capabilities and Transformation Culture in Standard Chartered Cash Operations. So I'm here to ask some tough questions to my HR colleagues. What I'm going to do is we will start off with a generic question that all of you can answer, and then I'll come down to specific to your industries and organizations. So the generic question that I have for you is, inclusion is a word that we are all using, but how often do we think that the benefits are rolled out as symbolic gestures rather than real levers of change? In your view, how much of HR policy today is about human relationships, and how much is it about ticking DI boxes and checklists? Start off with Harsha.
Thank you. So thank you, Archana, and for sharing those statistics. Really, creates the imagination to believe the DEI is all in paper, but it doesn't reflect in the stats that you've just shown. So I come from aviation catering, and I can definitely say this one line: symbolism without substance doesn't work. We have largely 80% blue-collar workforce, which is on the ground, frontline workforce. And if you only do something symbolic, nobody will ever benefit from them. The realities of a people that actually work for us matter much more than shiny one-off perks that we can give them. We say that because they work odd hours. They work for 12 hours, 9 hours, 8-hour shifts, mostly standing on the legs. They work in cold temperatures and hot temperatures, which are hardship environments. Yeah? They stand for long shifts. They travel in all atmospheres because flights have to fly every day, every single day. So it doesn't matter whether it's a 3 a.m. shift or a morning 7 a.m. flight. They have to be there. The food has to be served. So we don't want them to be back to us, or we don't expect loyalty if we provide them some kind of app or a DEI initiative per se, because that's not going to be meaningful for them. It's the basic dependable things that matter. When you get to a workplace, a clean uniform, a clean chef coat, a laundered uniform is what matters to them. When you get to a shift, you can be assured that even at 2 a.m. in the night, you would get a hot meal really waiting for you. Yeah? It's when you go out in hardships in rain environments, our RAM staff, our security teams, etc., should have a raincoat when they're traveling to and from the workplaces and when they're going and catering the flights. And also a manager who listens. So that's the best bet you can provide them. Like you were saying, if we train our managers better to listen to the problem statements, to help them identify solutions, you don't need these fancy solutions in terms of DEI and so on. At LSG, we try and build a workplace where everybody feels a sense of belongingness. We invite them in festival celebrations. We do all kinds of theme events, food choices, family events. Everything is a part and parcel of our job. And we invite this is done by the people for the people. So it's not just an HR brainchild that we just do it for the sake of doing it. And yes, we know, anything substantial like a gym membership wouldn't make any sense to a 3 a.m. staff member who's going to cater to the flight in the evenings, right? But you invite them and their families for sport tournaments and make them whole. They themselves say, okay, coming to workplace feels like yahan aane ka man karta hai. So that's the biggest KPI that we can try and measure. Thank you.
Thank you so much. What about you, Kritika?
Still, I'll use one. I think I'm just going to slightly contradict what she's saying, because in practical experience in the last so many years that I've worked, it's practically not possible to keep everybody happy with whatever benefits we're going to come up with. I'm going to come up with a gym membership. A few of them are not going to want it. I'm going to call family. A few of them are going to say they're not here to come with me. So this is going to happen no matter what. But again, that's why the 80-20 Pareto rule exists, right? So we try and cater to as many as possible. And benefits in any corporate environment is very similar to the politics situation as well. You all come in with a very, very clear, conscious and great intent to do benefit for the larger good. But then comes policies, compliances, leadership, hurdles, red tape, bureaucracy, which boils those benefits down to something that we can try and benefit the employees, but more to an extent that, so my role is to see how much of the bureaucracy, red tape that we can overcome to try and pass as much as the genuinity that is initiating for that benefit to the employees. So there we play a huge role in terms of strategizing to see how we can position this benefit in order to sell it, whether it is to the management or it is to the people. So there we just become marketers, right? Like we just start selling those benefits that this is how it's going to help you. So yes, we humans at the end of the day, if you give me 10, I'll want 12. You give me 12, I'll want 20. But as HR, it's our job to see what's the right balance between the two. And I think that's where we're all trying. I think all of us here, unless you're blessed with an amazing leadership team that's going to drive you to say what you're giving is not enough, we're all fighting that battle to get what's the best out of the situation that we have. So I think from there, we all aim to have more diverse policies, but I think a lot of it depends on fraternity. Even now you gave stats, okay? The moment I'm going to go and talk about a new policy to my organization, they'll ask, okay, what's market doing? Then Aon will come and say, oh, you're already in the top 75% because only 19% of the organizations are giving paternity leave. So why should we give? Okay, let everybody come, then we'll join the bandwagon. So it's like, we're not all GE, right, to be the pioneers and say, okay, listen, from tomorrow we're all not Standard Chartered either, right? So we can't afford the same like you, Archana, but we're trying to make the best of what we can. So I think more stringent policies, maybe a louder network of HR people, something that's registered. It's like we have to become something like CAs, HR people, and say we need this. And we should be able to bring that say and say this is what is required for the organizations. Unless that comes and forcing it into the organizations, this diversity is going to be a backseat. Today I will take it, tomorrow I have a business pressure, I'm going to cut. The first thing I'll cut down is the DEI budget. First thing that Trump did, inclusion, diversity, my foot. So the same thing will happen in organizations as well, right? So I think call for one of those is definitely something that we should aim at doing to become better at whatever we are.
So true and a little ouch, right? Yeah, it hurts. Rajesh.
Yeah, thanks, Archana. Both the things have, these things have two coins. Yeah, both the sides are there. I will say what is the purpose? If it is a purpose-driven leadership, what is the outcome we are looking for? And if it is a intention-driven business, what is the outcome we are looking for? I'll try to share one very small story because I'll just give a brief about myself. I am all in all a manufacturing guy. I worked in Tata's, I worked in Hindustan Motors, those who know Mr. Car. And I worked with Flipkart. Again, Flipkart was not the IT branch, it is an e-cart, which is a delivery partner of the Flipkart. And now, the current day I am heading with American Air Filter, India, Middle East, which is a Daikin Group business. And it's quite diversified. And once upon a time in the small town of Jamshedpur, some people were going to the restroom and some people were going to the another restroom. So the chairman asked why this is the restroom and why this is the restroom. So he went to the restroom of the worker. And the worker's restroom was very, very pathetic, very dirty, not to go anybody. And then he asked the facility manager why there is a difference between the staff restroom and the workers' restroom. He said that, sir, they are maintaining like this. He said that, how much time you require to change it? How much time you require to transform it? He said, at least a month's time. He said, okay, come tomorrow. Come tomorrow to my office and bring the carpenter. He brought the carpenter. He asked, change the notice board. Change the board of the staff room toilet and change the board of the workers' toilet. That is the intention. How it will be treated, the benefits, and how it will be designed, that is most important. And that is the Rusi Modi of Tata Steel. So the beginners, the pioneers of the driving the benefits strategy right from the 100 years olds. Again, I will tell you one more story. We used to have a blood donation day. Blood donation day is not the one single day. Anybody can donate the blood on any of the day. There is a blood donation center. And once the employee is going to donate the blood, that day he will get the leave. He will get the fruits, all those things, but he will go home. he will rest, and he will get one more day of leave. So the management people ask JRD, this is the misuse of the policy. The same day is okay. Same day is going home, resting, that's okay. But another one more day, you are giving him a leave, that is a misuse of the policy. I said, I'm okay with the 1 day of misuse of the policy or the use of the policy, but the donation of one bottle of the blood, which is saving somebody, that is my purpose of this. So benefits are designed with result of, for the what result that we need to define, right? Yes, we have a competition and we have a profitability and we have to, if benefits strategy, defining your business strategy, that is going to solve the problem. Otherwise, it's very difficult. Yes, cutting down the budget and then that's my suggestion.
It's beautiful, purpose-driven leadership. Thank you so much. Suresh, what's your take?
Yeah, I'm Suresh here. I work for Bangalore Metro Rail Corporation. See the panel, we have 3 women and 2 men. So it shows in the same way, BMRCL also, we have a 39% of population of women. Majority of the people drive the trains are women. Women are skillful, they are very talented, highly respected in BMRCL. That's why the key positions and strategic positions will be given to the women. Even though HR I am leading, but my team is also totally occupied with the women employees only. We have policies, it's a PSU, public sector organization, we cannot change drastically policies and all, but facilities wise, we do our best in the country. We are role model to all other metros also. There are 22 metros in the country. And people do come to us, other metro people do come to us for the best things what we follow at BMRCL. And rest of the things, policies and as per the idea scales and all, pay wise, perks wise, facilities wise, best in the country we do. And that's it, Archana.
Thank you so much. That's very insightful. I'll come to more about some of the things that's being done in Bangalore Metro later. But now I'm coming to the specific industry questions, and I'll come to you, Harsha. Harsha, you talked about the uselessness, literally, of symbolism without any actual impact. You talked about the fact that you're working with blue-collar workers who are on their feet at all points of time and doing hard labor. And so my question to you is, in frontline heavy industries like aviation, catering that you mentioned, employees often churn very quickly and before they can even experience long-term benefits. So one of the questions that I have for you is, in organizations like yours, do we really have to design benefits that actually impact shorter-term, immediate impact, daily inclusions? And what are some of the challenges that you've seen? What are some of the breakthroughs that you have made?
All right, great question. Thank you. So yes, in frontline working industries like ours, you know, there is 2 types of employees that we have. Of course, one is seasonal workforce or contractual workforce, because the volume of the business can go up and down anytime. You know, when you have summer vacations and so on, the number of flight increases. When suddenly a competitor is not able to perform, the number of flight increases, and so on and so forth. So yes, in contractual workforce, we do have attrition, which is, you know, very high. And similar industries will have similarly high attrition as well. It's also because we operate at an airport, right, which is a culmination of about 50 plus organizations working in the same vicinity. So it's very easy for somebody to just jump the wagon with rupees 500 extra. Yeah? So, you know, it could be personal reasons, it could be just not liking the job, or it could be just the monetary benefit. So people do jump. But in LSG, we've also seen, you know, people stay back for 20 plus years as well. Yeah, our managing director itself is 44 years in the organization. So we've seen both sides of the coin. On-roll workers typically tend to stay higher, and the attrition is barely about 2 to 3%. So benefit redesign definitely is important, because, you know, nobody's going to wait 5 years to gain the policy benefit. Yeah, everybody wants to see the action right now, right now. Yeah, and because we have a young generation workforce, which is typically average 27, 25 years old, you all know that, you know, we thrive on getting things right now. You know, this is the generation where we know it's the Instagram, instant gratification and so on. So you can't really create policies for the long term. You have to create benefits in the short run itself. That's why we focus on, some of these policies which they can benefit from right when they join in, right from the day one, yeah? So there are meals and snacks available, and we try and do both veg and non-veg meal every day, which is one of the perk at this level. You don't really get that nutritious protein meals at home, so it's very essential. And you might think it's very basic, but that's what people come to work for. They might spend an hour extra, do the dinner, and then go back home, yeah, because that's what's important. Then we do annual checkups every 6 months, every year, so that any kind of issues that we have in that population can be identified much early on, and you don't have to spend so many bucks on hospitalizations and so on. Of course, medical insurances, ESICs, comprehensive structures are in place so that we can provide the families the required help as and when they need. We also have monetary policies in place, for example, salary advances for any kind of hardships. Typically in the month of April and May, your budgets tend to go up because your school fees has to be paid out. Yeah, or suddenly there's a demise in the family, then you have bereavement leaves to be given, so that people don't have to utilize their own share of leave quotas and so on. And we have a lot of migrant workforce, so they typically want to save all the leaves to go back once to the hometown and spend 1 month and so on. So we have listening mechanisms in place where suggestion schemes can come out. People are part of the cafeteria committees or sport committees. They decide what they want. Yeah, and then managers listen. So in small groups, managers listen to these people and try and frame the benefits accordingly. So we as HRs don't, work in silos. We have a team of about 8-10 department heads, and we work as a committee which decide which benefit would actually be most suitable to them. Like I was saying in the earlier one, providing a gym membership is something that we thought of. And of course we realized that this is not something that would work off for our workforce. Yeah? We wanted to send a clear message that daily infrastructure needs of the people will be taken care of, and you can come to this workplace with dignity and safety in mind. There's also another thing of family belongingness. While a lot of people may say that I don't really appreciate this kind of benefit and so on, we tried investing in Wonderla passes. This is an adventure park here in Bangalore. And you won't believe, nobody ever thought that I could spend 1,500 per person and go to a Wonderla park, take my entire family with me. But then this kind of benefit actually was a huge hit with them, because you could take up your kids, your parents, and then have a fun outing adventure. We do staff events where people are respected. We try and get them on stage, the families as well. So there is a sense of belongingness that we try and create. And of course, the regular benefits of mental health, health checkups and so on that every company does, we also do. But then these ground level realities, if they are taken care of, I think the workforce appreciates it more.
That is so beautiful, right? I love the fact that, you can accumulate leaves and take a long vacation. Or the fact, something that you said, school fees have to be paid on a particular year, a month of the year. And that's something that's beautiful and Mandala. Very good. Coming to you, Kritika. You had talked, you obviously are from Comp and Ben, and you talked about personalization. You also talked about the fact that, you have to listen to the leadership. And coming to you on that part, right? You sit at the intersection of cost, compliance, and compassion. And that's tough, right? What happens when business leadership is asking you to cut costs and employees are asking for more and more rewards? Because that is what they want. How do you bring that balance?
Hire me. Why would I spill my secret to you? But having said that, I think I spoke to you earlier, right? Like in management, we learn a lesson of repetitiveness. They turn you down once, you keep asking them until they get sick of you and they don't turn you down anymore. So it's again the intent with which I operate. If I definitely think that the benefit is worth it, I would not give up until that benefit is being launched. If I feel that that benefit is not going to, or outweigh, the cons outweigh the pros, then obviously it is that. But having said that, if the leadership's buy-in is not there, then it's going to be extremely challenging for us to do anything. If there is no leadership example that Rajesh quoted, right, then they would still be using the same washrooms. There's not going to be any change unless it's a top-down approach. So for sure, you need to have the buy-in of the leadership. So in terms like the previous organization that I was working for, very fancy. How do they wanted everybody, no matter what the level of the organization is, to be able to exhibit and talk the brand. So I used to work with Mercedes-Benz. So what they decided was, well, how can you talk about Mercedes-Benz if you've not traveled in one or driven one? So there's a benefit. So every employee gets to take the car out for a weekend with their family, wherever they want. The petrol is fully paid, insurance is fully paid, you go crash, we'll still take it. Of course, the car's ours, but still. So that changed perspective. You know, till then, yes, they were very proud of working for Mercedes. Now they're prouder. Now it's become family because they've driven one. You slowly sow those seeds of, you know, being a part of that motivation, engagement, all of that increases. But that wouldn't have been possible if the leaders also didn't believe that that's going to work out beneficial for us. If cost was the factor, then that is something that we don't have to take it up at all. Engaging all the workforce with the one car for the weekend means we are holding 4 cars for a whole year with us, which is a lot of money. So, of course, leadership buy-in is primary. But again, if we know the right time to strike, you know, when it's hot, then you get the job done.
Ask, and ask. Still it gets done. You know, they are like, okay, go for it.
Yeah, I think I've done that with Merck in certain cases. Every opportunity I get, whether it's a coffee talk, you meet me at the water cooler, you call me for a one-on-one discussion, I persistently bring the same topic again. So once they got sick and tired and said, okay, fine, just get it done.
And maybe bring the business perspective. Tell them why it would add to the business and to the margins and to the P&L. Maybe they will buy that.
I'm really sorry, Archana, there's a lot of intangibles in there, okay? Yeah. And when I go to business, they ask me for numbers and where am I going to get tangible benefits from bringing about benefits for the employees? Yes, but how can I equally relate it to productivity? How can I show them, yes, by doing this is what? By the time I separate ROI and everything else, intangibility is different. But of course, once they see the benefit for themselves, that's when it gets done faster.
Sometimes it is, right? For LGBTQI, one of the things that happens in Standard Chartered Bank is to talk about the fact that 7 to 12% of the clients are from this diaspora. Do you know that you are actually losing business if you're not a business that supports that?
Understand.
And that is something which suddenly makes people understand that. Similarly, a lot of people who are not investing in mental well-being, to tell them that, you know what, unscheduled absenteeism or mental health illness, you know, is such a huge cost.
Yeah, that's exactly why we have now wellness applications in the organization, right? We've tried to do whatever tangible benefits is possible. Say, for example, we're based out of Bangalore. For all of you here, we're a 100% remote organization. So that's how we sold it. We said, like, listen, they're going to spend like 3-4 hours in traffic.
Right.
You might as well make use of it. And we're a 100% remote organization. So we have employees who sit across India from wherever they want to and work. And that's the biggest benefit that I can give. And I can say that directly is proportional to my attrition as well, because we've hardly less than 5% of attrition as well.
Thank you so much. And I think that's one of the things that we can all do as HR, you know, change the narrative. Instead of asking for money, tell them how much it helps the business, and maybe that would have some kind of a positive impact. Thank you so much. Now, coming to you, Rajesh, you had talked about purpose-driven leadership, and you had talked about Ruzi Modi and Tata's, where you have a leadership. But if you were to kind of look at, you come from a manufacturing where essentially sometimes, most of the times rather, it is seen that DEI is a white collar thing, while how does it impact the workers, the blue collar? How do you ensure that the benefit strategies are not stopping at the corporate offices and are actually reaching the factory gates? How do you kind of ensure that? have you seen resistance?
Okay, so I think you have raised three questions. The question number one, is it reaching to the shop floor workers, or is it staying into the corporate offices or the glass doors or the HR cabins? Point number one. Point number two, the resistance. And point number three, resistance is coming from where? So the most important part, whenever we are designing the benefit strategies, earlier it was the kindness of the organization. Later on it becomes the rightness of the people. Now it becomes a partnership of the both the things, organization as well as the employees. Organization wants to give the benefits because it is driving the business. If it is not driving the business, no point of doing any kind of a benefits. That is the very first thing we have to define it. Second thing, when we are designing any kind of a business strategy, who is my target audience, that we have to see first. If it is a corporate office, there can be a different kind of a policy. If it is a shop floor employees, there can be a different kind of a policy. If there is a generational gap in your employee database, there will be a different policies. I'll give you very simple examples. Probably those who are in my age, gray hair age, probably they are not interested in 180 savings because already home loans is there and then PF limit is touched to the sky. The new generation people, those who are 23, 24 years of age, they are not interested to contribute to PF. They are saying 1800 is okay, that is also not okay, I want to take home. Now this is a different kind of a benefits we have to define for them. They 60 years में मुझे PF का पैसा मिलेगा, I am not interested, अभी दे दो आप. That is what you have to define. So when we are designing the hiring, there is a people, those who are continuing the PF, there are people, those who are not interested, declare it, we will remove the PF from that. So we have to see who is target audience for whom you are designing the benefit strategy. Point number one. Point number two, is it designed by the people sitting into the AC cabins or it is going to the shop floor? We have to have opinions, surveys, focus group discussion from the people, whether it is a union or whether it is the operators or whether it is the blue collar people, right? And there is two set of people. One is the unionized people, another set of the people, non-unionized people, right? In the unionized set of people, you will find a different kind of a demands. And there is a different kind of a set of people, they want the benefits to regenerate, to get energized, to feel motivated, to feel engaged. So that's why designing the benefit strategy, we have to keep all these points in mind while we are designing it, right? Now the second point comes your DEI. Now I am handling the India, Middle East, Saudi particularly. Now for the India, DEI is a total different meaning. The DEI for the Saudi is a total different meaning. I can have a gender diversity on the shop floor, and we have introduced the number of percentage of women working into the shop floor and how to increase it. There is a percentage, every month on a month we are tracking it, every month on a month we are increasing it, but same metrics, if I will drive into the Saudi, probably I get stuck. I have a diversity in Saudi. There are people from the neighbor countries, Sri Lankan, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, Filipini. Now there is different diversity. This is a national diversity, not only the gender diversity. I have a different kind of a benefit strategy which I am driving into Saudi and Middle East countries, but there is a different diversity which I am driving into the American Air Filter, Bangalore and Noida office. So we have to have the clear-cut understanding in which kind of environment we are operating and what we are trying, what we are trying to drive with that, right? Resistance, yes, it's always there. Resistance comes from, first thing is that whether I will get my targets completed or not. On the shop floor, it is the middle management. It is the production manager. If I will send this person, if I send this set of 20 people to attend the meditation, yoga, for half an hour, what will happen to my productivity? If I will send these people to go and learn something new, will they leave the job? Another thing, that training on certain set is important, but at the same time, they have a fear, if they learn more, attrition will be more. So the resistance is from the middle management. If they are buying that, yes, this strategy is going to help them to improve the productivity, the resistance will go off. Demand from the people, those who are working into the shop floor, they also think that yes, this is for the HR के लोगों के लिए बनाया है, हम लोगों को कुछ नहीं करना है. लेक्चर देने आएंगे, कुछ सुनाएंगे, हम लोग चाय पी के चले जाएंगे. Now that kind of a mindset of the people who are having that yes, this is not a strategy for me, this business, this benefit is not going to help me, it is not going to help you. It is 110% it is going to fail. What we are going to build into them that yes, health checkup came, which was happening 20 years before when doctor was coming and standard checks done. Not going to help. Now, the most important part is health checkup camps, health advice is customized to me. What is my health? What is my age? What is my eating habits? And how I am going to grow with this style of living after 20 years, 25 years, 30 years. And if that is coming, advice is coming to me in my mobile app, it's going to be successful. If it is coming that yes, somebody is going to come, sit, the doctor will sit in the canteen and he will talk, it's not going to happen. My personalized advice coming to me in my mobile app, that kind of a benefit is going to be successful, whether it is for the workers or whether it is for the Gen Z or whether it is for the senior people. So that's why the policies should be public, but at the same time, it should be practiced in the private, which is health benefit, which is investment benefit. My investment benefit and probably Kritika's investment purpose is totally different, right? It cannot be a common. So if I'm getting advice benefit from the HR side, okay, there is an investment advisor, there is a fund advisor, there is an app-based investing, probably I would love to have. But if it is a general thing, it will be a just lecture part. So that's the entire thing we have to drive.
I love the fact that you talked about just something that has to be designed for the audience. And again, another thing which is of very great significance is the changing the mindset of the middle managers. I'm surprised that you talked about the fact that even in a shop floor, you have middle managers who think that if I upskill this person, what if this person leaves? I thought that was something which was to do with KPOs like ours, banking. You know, there is a joke where one of the managers says, if I upskill this person, what if he leaves and joins something else? And the other person says, what if he does not learn anything and continues to stay? Right? So I'm quite intrigued by the fact that that's something which is there in manufacturing also. Thank you so much. Now coming to you, Suresh. Public sector HR is often, and maybe wrongly, construed as something which is rigid and maybe compliance bound. Where have you found the space for innovation? Where do you see it in the constraints that you work in? And can you walk us through some of the DEI-focused interventions that you've done and have found success in?
See, we have a population of 2,200 people for operations and maintenance. And daily we are responsible for 1 million people travel every day. And the other side of team is projects. They have around 7,000 guys who construct the bridges and all, rolling stock and all those things. So the entire business goes on. We do not have any time to have this sort of things basically. And we have we redefine the union management and all those things. We have a participative management. We have a council members. They do support, they do give the creative ideas for the innovation and various factors, not only DA, not only in IR side of it, even management side of it, how we should do, what is the, in technical side of it also. So we do have a layers of meetings with the staff council people, general managers level, directors levels and MD level, in board level. We do have meetings. It's not public sector no more, it's like a public sector. It is only statutory oriented. We are flexible, we are competitive environment we are working with, and we are also leading. Very soon you are going to see the Bangalore Metro is the world's leader in innovation and new trends of working.
Thank you so much, and amen to that. I love that. I'm looking forward to that.
When will it get done?
Wait and watch.
With time not on our sides, I'll quickly move into a rapid fire thing, and I'm going to start off with you, Suresh. The first question is going to be, when is the Bangalore Metro till airport going to be done?
It is,
That's not the-
everybody is anticipated, but certain things not in our hands. The land acquisition, the rolling stock, all those things to be integrated. When external forces are together integrated, probably we'll see that in 2027 it is going to happen. We are also expecting it's a huge business opportunity, and 22 millions of people are going to use that facility. Definitely we're looking to forward by completion of 2027.
That was not your rapid question. I have prepared something else for you. But that's for everybody's benefit, and thank you so much for clarifying that. We look forward to it. So the question that I have for you is, if you had complete freedom from compliance, rule for a day, what would be one inclusive benefit that you would roll out immediately, and how would it help?
I can, a lot of things can be done, but the thing is, important thing is old pension scheme. OPS I'll implement, because 2004 it has been stopped for all the employees, government employees basically, that it is very useful. It gives 50% of your last drawn salary as your pension. Some commitment will be there, and you need not contribute. Now NPS is, we need to contribute. There is a market driven thing. Obviously I'll go for OPS.
Thank you.
Majority of the people of the country.
Thank you so much. Coming to you, Rajesh. You talked about India, you talked about Middle East, right? You managed two distinctive geographies, and if you had to stop and choose, standardization versus localization of benefits, which one would win and why?
The most important, which I will suggest, recommend, and I expect everybody should do, the health benefits, having a mobile phone, check the health every day, check the sleep pattern. This is the most important, irrespective of your age, irrespective of your employment, irrespective of country. The most important benefit which I would like to extend, if I will get the authority, I will ask everybody to download, check, and see how you are living the life.
Thank you so much. Coming to you, Kritika. In one line, what benefit do you think Gen Z talent values the most that companies are still underestimating?
In one line, what Gen Z is expecting. Can I discuss this with my daughter and check? And let me- I think that's $1 million question, right? I don't know, but the one thing that I know is they can't wait for anything. So maybe they'll appreciate if we give gratuity every couple of months or every 6 months. So I think, on a very humorous note, I seriously can't answer your question in one line, but having said that, that's something even I'd appreciate. Yeah. I don't clock 5 years in an organization, and I really appreciate if they can give the gratuity a bit earlier. Exactly. OPS, I didn't even know that there's something like that. Worked in corporates all my life. I asked her, what is old pension scheme, when you were talking about it? I didn't even know that existed. Oh, okay. So next time BMRCL has an opening, sir, please let me know.
Now,
the question for me was empathy, flexibility, equity, describe in one word.
Okay, now coming to you, Harsha. One small low cost benefit that had a huge impact on your frontline workers.
Mangoes every season.
Wow.
Yeah. So summer season comes, we give a box of mangoes, the very rich kind, and the hapuses and so on, and people really loved it. So we've continued that benefit. It's the smallest thing that we could do, but people really appreciated it.
That is so powerful, right? The inclusion and benefits is not about budget sometimes, right? It's just about listening and empathy and understanding what they want and kind of catering to that. That is something which is, benefits is not just perks, it's a culture in action. Some of the closing reflections from my end. In the conversations that we had, one of the delightful things that I noticed is that concept of inclusion plays differently in different organizations, right? Be it the frontline industries focusing on immediacy, right? Or public sector industries. But the thread that keeps coming back is are we actually listening to the voice at the margins, or are we designing for the majority? And today we have heard that intent without execution can do more harm than good. We have heard about the fact that policies designed in boardrooms fail often when they do not reflect lived realities. And true inclusion demands listening, feedback loops, and empathy. A benefits policy is not just a perk, it's a mirror of our culture, of our intent, and the everyday experiences of our employees. I'll leave with 3 provocations. Are our policies truly inclusive or inclusive sounding? Are you designing for the average employee or the most invisible one? And finally, if you were not in your current role, the privileges that you hold, or the life stage that you're in, would your organization's benefit truly benefit you? Because at the end of the day, inclusion is not an initiative. It is a design choice that everybody has agreed to. Thank you so much, everybody.
Archana, can I request 30 seconds?
Yes, please.
I always tell this, people are the customer, people are the investors, and people are the employees. So if somebody who doesn't understand the people, doesn't understand anything.
Thank you so much.
So you're called Human Happiness Department. So definitely opening idandre, please, correct.
Yeah, one line from everybody. Yeah, Kritika. Do we have any questions from the audience? Yes.
Hi, Jhansi Rani.
Yes, yes. Hi, everyone.
More power to women. Yes.
Yes, I'm Dr. Jhansi Rani, Director Research Center, ISBR Business School. I always believe that, 2 things are pretty important. Since the topic is very close to my heart as well. Okay, I thought of asking this particular question. Since I'm from education industry, I strongly believe in 2 things. Okay, education at schooling and leadership vision. Okay, so is there any sensitivity programs that you are running in your organizations to really educate your employees? And each one of you have mentioned that there are monetary benefits and perks, and which differs from one organization to another based on its requirement. Those are all quite appreciable things, right? Is there any sensitivity programs? Because education at leadership level is very important. At the same time, education at bottom level, especially if employees who are working for shop floors, they should be provided sensitivity programs in their own localized languages. Is there any such programs taking place from your organizational level? I just would like to know that.
I wanted to add to that. So thanks for the questions. There is, of course, majority of the organizations take up POSH because it's a mandated requirement. But we have gone beyond and we have done behavioral and sensitivity training sessions so that people understand that they are working in an atmosphere which is, a lot of ethnicities are working together. People speak different languages, they come from different regions and so on. So if we don't respect each other, then of course it leads to quarrels and complaints and so on. So I definitely believe that if we don't give sensitivity trainings, it can lead to, harassment issues, complaints and so on. So we have to stop it in the bud, and education is the only way to go about it. Sometimes, it will feel like a lecture, like Rajesh was saying, but you dig deep into it, you keep doing it, you do it in, a Nukkar Natak style, or perhaps something that is more relatable to the audiences, it definitely lands well.
Excellent.
Did you also ask about sensitizing leaders to the current scenario? Yes, definitely. In my past, we've had specifically to one of the organizations, there was something I did called leadership training with horses or something like that. Okay, you can Google it. There is a provider called Regenesis in Bangalore as well who does it. And they took all our senior leadership for a 2-day camp with about 10 horses. And they taught how their thoughts and their actions reflect differently on people. So it's not like, yes, you've learned management, blah, 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 but are you being inclusive? Are you being a good leader? rather than a manager? What will classify you differently? How can I tell you how to do that without actually telling you how to do that? Because you're a leader. There's going to be ego hassles, etc., etc. So I'm not going to bring a trainer and then do that. But it was a very beautiful program where they explained how energies will revolve. You could say, I love you to the horse 100 times, but if you actually don't mean it, the horse will not understand it. And that was an amazing leadership lesson that we all got. And it's till date one of the best trainings that my leaders would have gone through as well. Now we've recommended, the entire globe is doing the same. But that's one of the programs that we've done, and I think it's very important. There's reverse mentoring programs that we have done, where the Gen Z teaches the leaders saying what we want. It's no longer what you think is right, what we think is also important. So I think their leadership sensitizing is very important in any organization, and the more we adapt to it, the more better is the collaboration between all generations within an organization. So I think that's that. If that's what you asked.
If it is pertaining to sensitivity training, we have ICC. We continuously give the training in a periodic way to all the employees. And also we sensitize women employees, their rights, legally how they can proceed. We have certain committees. Regarding education, what you mentioned, we have a policy that everybody can, lateral education they can continue. They can change their field of work also. Recently, 700 employees out of 2,200 employees, they opt for the PG, means MTechs. So they can get into their wishful area of the department. So we support. Entire the education cost will be paid by the BMRC. And the leaves also we give. Thank you.
That's beautiful. Is that answered? Thank you so much.
Well, big round of applause. Lovely panel. Thank you so much, Archana and others.